Yep, another episode, 12 or something.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Look, that'll do. So, the big thing is the Cricket World Cup. We've got rid of the... finally through the... What do you call them?
I think
The first stages?
It's a group stage or whatever it is. There's only 2 groups, so...
Yeah, pool A,
kind of
the
irrelevant.
pool stage.
Yeah, the stage.
Anyway, it's finished.
I think it should be... It's where you... the stage where you'll find out, hardest effort, they call it, encouragement awards for the lesser nations who are not in the Tier 1 teams. Don't play the Tier 1 teams anyway.
Yeah, so we said at the start, let's see who are the ones of the not the Tier 1 teams that make it through.
Yeah.
Bangladesh's got there.
Yep.
And the West Indies crawled through.
Yeah.
They're still a test playing nation, but geez, they're struggling.
Yeah, I reckon. And
I think they were lucky they were in the pool they were in.
yeah, exactly.
But the Bangers
did well.
I mean, a little bit of luck that it was rained out against the Aussies, but, fuck it, you take it.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, in any tournament like this where it's a World Cup, you need a little bit of luck somewhere on the line to get across the line.
And at the end of the day, they beat England.
Yeah.
So England are back home.
And there weren't many people who actually weren't cheering for Bangladesh against that, I don't think.
Nobody. I think even half the English supporters...
Yeah, I think the media were like, please, I've already got my story written.
Well, it wasn't a total loss for England, though. Freddie Flintoff won I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
He did too. He also won a nice prodigy haircut out of that too, I saw.
Did he?
A big shave down the middle.
I saw the headline and not a second of the show. So for me to say the show is shit, not really that genuine, but it's fair to assume it was shit.
Yeah, and I'm sort of in the same boat.
Oh, that's what I was going to say too. While we're talking about cricket, I come back from a conference the other day. At the awards dinner, Kerry O'Keefe was the speaker.
Oh, righto.
The retired ABC cricket commentator with the most awful laugh, or the best laugh ever.
Depends what mood you're in, I think.
Yeah, he knows it's his moneymaker anyway, that laugh. If you ever want to know what Dave Hughes will sound like doing stand-up in 20 years' time, Kerry O'Keefe. Yep. The same cadence, the same tempo, everything was the same as Dave Hughes.
Yep.
And he did 25 minutes of stand-up. It wasn't no storytelling.
Really?
It was just stand-up, really.
Fair enough.
Some of the jokes you've heard, but others that were made up, so that was all right. Anyway, back to the cricket. So, the quarterfinals. We've got South Africa and Sri Lanka. That's the best quarterfinal.
Yep.
Now, South Africa have been going really well. They only had the one hiccup against India.
Yeah, I think especially they've been pacing it pretty well as well,
Yeah.
Haven't been any real tough games, so...
No, and I think they knew they were going to finish 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka could be a surprise, but their bowlers have let them down a bit.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the batting. We'll talk about the batting later, but they got 2 in the top 4 or something like that.
Yeah, I did see that.
India and Bangladesh, you'd expect India to canter home, and they haven't been challenged yet.
No,
really.
they haven't really been extended.
No, it'll be interesting once they face some of the other pool.
Yep.
Australia and Pakistan, another interesting one, because Pakistan could come out and score 400, or they could score 40.
Yeah, and especially, with Pakistan, it seems like they're hard just to pull it all together for one match.
Yeah.
It seems they'll have a few little patches, or they'll have a good batting day and a shit bowling day.
I'll tell you what, it's at Adelaide Oval too.
Oh, really?
So they're going to pack it out.
Yep.
Let's see, I think it's Saturday night on Adelaide Oval.
Jesus. There'll be some loose blokes around that game.
And New Zealand in the Windies.
Yeah.
I don't think...
You can't see the Windies getting across the line there.
Unless Gale's going to come out swinging from the get-go. He'll either score 200 or nothing.
That's it. And I think he's done that all World Cup, and I think he's the highest score, and he's had a few shockers too, so...
A lot of shockers.
You're not really sure how it's going to go.
I think, 94% of his runs come in that one innings or something like that.
Right.
But New Zealand's interesting because Brendan McCullum, I think, is the best strike rate going around.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's converted yet.
Have they played out of New Zealand yet?
No.
Yeah, so they've all their games been home.
Yeah, and now it's in Australia from here on, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It'd be interesting. Again, they were really only pushed against Australia.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing game.
It was a good game for, shit scores.
Yeah, not even 400, not even 300 runs scored.
Yeah.
Or 302, something like that. So that'll be interesting. But I'd say you're looking at all those that you would expect to win should.
Yeah.
So back to our predictions at the start of the season.
Yep.
Start of the World Cup. I said for the batting, I picked AB de Villiers to lead.
Yep.
After the group stage, he's coming third, so that's not too bad. A couple of not outs, but Sangakkara scored nearly 500 runs.
Shit.
4 back-to-back centuries.
Jesus.
Not a bad effort.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
For an old man.
Regardless of who you're playing.
Averaging 124.
Jesus.
And he was in the hard side of the draw as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't like he was belting up on the minnows.
Yeah.
Not a bad effort.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, he's one that you can never count out for putting up a ton or something like that.
He's
good at digging in.
Yeah, just reliable.
Yeah.
And I think we said at the start of the World Cup, his average in Australia was 60. Well, he's put on...
Too, yeah.
He's doubled that for the World
Jesus.
Cup, so that's not a bad effort. Almost as good an effort as number 2 on the batting. Without looking, you'd never guess it. So I don't know why I'm asking you to guess. Mm-hmm. Brendan Taylor from Zimbabwe.
Brendan Taylor?
Yep.
Old BT.
Yeah, old BT.
Old BT, eh?
That's what I was going to call him too. I think he had a couple of centuries. He's averaging 72.
Shit.
And he's second on the list. So he's in front of AB de Villiers.
Actually, I remember one of the Bangladeshis putting up a ton against a legitimate team too.
Yeah,
maybe it was England.
Mamuladar, I think.
Yeah,
I think he got 2.
Yeah.
He got 2, one against England.
Yeah.
Which sent them packing. So that's extraordinary for the batting. And I had a look.
Yeah.
The Australians not really near the top. Davey Warner's got the most, and that's because he scored 170 in one innings.
Yeah.
So we haven't had anybody dominate. It's just been somebody's done
Somebody
enough.
stood up, yeah.
And except for the New Zealand game.
Have we had many changes besides Watson?
Well, Bailey was in for the first one.
That's right.
We had Doherty come in for a game, I think.
Yeah.
Might have played 2, but I think he only played 1.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Well, hopefully they were just, pacing it.
Yeah.
Taking it
Exactly. They don't feel like they're being stretched.
No. And it seems like what's being stretched is this whole first stage.
Yeah.
It seems like it's gone for ages.
It is a little bit.
And they had a rest day in the middle. So, a rest day, really?
We've got a couple of rest days now.
Yeah.
But Mark Nichols said, or Nicholas, said that there's 2 things that happen at the World Cup. It's a joining of all the nations that play cricket, a celebration of all the nations that play cricket, plus you crown the best cricketing nation.
Yep.
It'd be a shame if you lost the first of that. And I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Like I say, there's some minnow that's going to come up or do something amazing.
That's true.
And like, the Bangladeshis.
And for development of the game, you have to, encourage those people because it's about grassroots cricket, as they say.
Yeah. Well, Sri Lanka were a non-test playing nation at one stage.
Yeah.
They've got a World Cup under their belt.
Yeah.
It's more than England can say.
Yeah.
Now into the bowling, where my predictions weren't as great. I said Malinga and Anderson would be the ones.
Yep.
Malinga was about 11th on the wicket-taking list with 11.
Oh, yeah. He's had a pretty good series.
Yeah, it's been okay, but not dominant.
Yeah.
But the Sri Lankan bowlers haven't been dominant. Dominant. And Anderson, he's got 5 wickets from 6 matches.
Really?
Yeah, so there was a time there where I think the 2 bowlers I picked were none for 190 or something.
I don't remember who I picked.
I think you picked Johnson, who was in there about.
Yeah.
But we both, neither of us, picked Mitch Starc.
Yeah. Well,
who has the most wickets despite bowling the least number of overs out of everybody in the top 10.
Shit.
And obviously playing 1 game less. So there's 10 less wickets he's up for.
And he had that 1 game of 6 or something.
Yeah. So he's got 16 wickets.
Yeah.
At an average of 8.
Damn.
That's
Holy shit.
I think it's the best average ever.
It's probably in line with his batting average too.
I don't think he's faced... Oh, he would have faced a ball against New Zealand, but that would be about it.
Yeah.
And an economy rate of 3.68. So
Jesus.
It's been the Batters World Cup, and he's got an average of 8.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he's definitely leading the way with that.
I don't think he's going anywhere. He's in the Australian team for quite some time.
And the thing is, there was always a cloud over him coming into the World Cup. Like, he's not aggressive enough. He doesn't go after the jugular.
Of course, Warner, you had the famous thing about him.
Yep. Warner's been saying a few things lately.
But it's just ridiculous. An average of 8. And they were like that one we got the 6th, but they were unbelievable wickets.
Yeah, they were. They were crackers.
So he's played 1 less game, bowled about 12 less overs than anybody else in the top 10. And he's killing it. And obviously he's still going.
And it'd be interesting to see if there's something to that. If he's that shorter spell with more attack.
He's just been doing
it, or he's just dialed in and
he's been taking the new ball and doing what needs to be done.
And I'm guessing like the policy of having a second new ball after the 20th over, I think it is, or something like that, or 15th.
1 from each end or something like that.
I can't remember what they do, but
can't remember
whatever it is, it seems like it's sort of helped that middle period of boringness where the overs are just spin bowlers and get through it.
Well, they've also, the other rule change is the batting power play has to be taken by the 35th over or something like that.
Okay.
Because you smack it around in the final 10 anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always... I think this World Cup has just about saved one-day cricket for me.
Yeah. I think that's been some awesome games. And the crowd's been huge.
Yeah. The crowd's been
absolute
everywhere.
stompers.
And obviously not just the Australians.
No, the Australians haven't had the biggest crowds. It's been the Indians. They were out in
and
full
the Sri
colours.
Lankans.
Yeah, it's huge.
Tons of them. God, there must be so much tea going down.
And is there any possibility of India playing Pakistan?
There is, but it's unlikely because Pakistan play Australia.
Yeah.
And India play Bangladesh. So India will probably win.
Yeah.
But if Pakistan get up, I think they might be playing in the semis.
Yep.
If Pakistan beat Australia.
Which, of course, we're hoping doesn't happen. But
yeah. No, I still think Australia should get home.
Yeah.
But you never know.
And that'll set up a really exciting match between India and Australia if that's the way it goes.
After we've been playing all summer.
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing is we're still waiting for South Africa to have their big choke. So that'll be exciting.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. Probably not this week, but maybe next week.
Yeah. Well, who said they got again?
I'm sorry.
Who they got again?
They're playing Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
So, I mean, there's every chance.
Yeah.
Especially if Sri Lanka bat first.
Where did we say it was? In Adelaide?
No. They're playing in Sydney.
Well, it's still a turning wicket, you would hope.
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean...
Sydney's been a bit bland lately, but...
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think Sri Lanka's that great at the moment, but they've got to be better than South Africa's, don't they?
Well, I mean, South Africa have been just doing enough to get through without extending themselves. But, I mean, they've still got AB de Villiers to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And the Sri Lankan batters have been killing it, and the bowlers have just been,
Yeah.
So their batting's really their defence.
I think there's a lot of teams whose strategy is score more runs than them.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So it'll be interesting. Just the toss in that game would be interesting.
Yeah.
Who decides to bat first?
Yeah.
And who really wants to chase?
Yeah, and I mean, there hasn't been a current trend of strength between chasing or setting up the runs this World Cup.
At the start of the World Cup, it was all like, let's set a score and defend it.
Yeah.
Because batting second just seems so hard, but it hasn't turned out that way. There's been some great chases.
Yeah.
Especially the Australia-Sri Lanka game, where I thought Sri Lanka were unlucky because they're chasing something ridiculous, like 350.
Plenty.
Yeah. And Sangakkara was unlucky to be given out on what I thought was a no ball.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another very unlucky decision later on that escapes me right now. But, that's the way these things go. But, there's been some big chases still and some real, last ball wins and
last
overs.
Real close ones. Yeah, the last over ones have been really good.
So the quality of the games put on has been top notch.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for anything better.
That's it. And I've even enjoyed some of the effort from the minnow teams. Like Afghanistan put in a great effort even against Australia. Like they never looked like they gave up. They always, every ball they delivered, they had intention behind it.
Had a bit of a smack around for a couple overs there.
They did. It was sensational to watch.
Yeah.
And just the attitude was right. You know what I mean? And that makes a big difference between the shit team just giving up and going, we've come here and whatnot. But no, I was really impressed by them actually.
It is always good when they put up the professions of all those players. You got executive and policemen and all that. Good on you, champ.
Yep, that's it. So soon they'll be cricketers, I hope.
Yeah, I was going to say you never know. It's a good chance for them to put their hands up to get T20 leagues and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, all right. So there we are. We're through to the quarters on the Cricket World Cup. So hopefully next week we'll be able to say where the semi-finals are and they start to get serious. Then.
Yep. And that kicks off in a couple of days, isn't it, or tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. The next. So Thursday. I think Thursday's the first one.
Okay.
Which is South Africa and Sri Lanka.
Yep.
So I think it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, been a good World Cup.
It has, and I mean, it's only really getting to the business end of things now, so it's only going to get better.
Yeah. All right. So the other big event over the weekend, the big UFC 185. Is this the first time we've seen two belts change hands? It can't be many times.
I can't remember another time where it's happened.
No. So big event.
It was, and it was a pretty good card, to be honest. The undercard was really good. I think we started off with
a stacked card.
Start off with, I think it was 6 finishes in a row.
Yeah. Well, it might have even been more.
Yeah.
There wasn't a decision until Roy Nelson, was there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, actually, there might be one before it. Well, I've got the results here anyway, so. And the undercard.
Right, let's start from the bottom.
Yeah, the undercard. We'll just go through the fights down the card that were exciting and interesting. Joseph Duffy, who was obviously the last man to beat Conor McGregor.
Yep.
Is his first fight in the UFC. He's just been signed. He defeated Jake Lindsay by absolute fucking violence.
Yeah.
It was just stood in front of him and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he was just so quick on his strikes. Like, his punches were crisp, and his leg kicks, he just flick them up.
Well, especially in that division, you have to be.
Yeah.
Always the criticism is they don't have the knockout power, but you know, if you hit them 6 times in the space of half a second,
you're going to be rattled.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He just punches in bunches and just changed it up, changed levels, and he had him against the cage for a second, not pressing him against the cage, but just situating against the cage. And he just threw this front head kick, like quick as a jab.
Yep.
And just clocked him and then went to the body, and that was it, all over. And of course, they're pushing for a rematch with Conor.
A few more wins under the belt first.
Yeah, that's it. And I think Conor's sort of got bigger fish to go after yet. They'll wait and see how he does.
Is his next fight for the belt?
Yeah. So they've just announced like a 6-country media tour.
Yeah,
that they're both going to go on.
The UFC is really enjoying Conor McGregor for the promotion.
Yeah, and so it was a really good fight, and you can expect to see big things from him in the future. He looks like he's on the right course, and he's got the right sort of style. Especially with Dana, the way he's trying to push fighters these days is into the more exciting fighting style, not pushing against the cage, and so you'll definitely be seeing him again. Yeah,
if you get a finish, you're going to get another fight.
Yeah, and these ones are on the Fight Pass. Fight Pass ones, and they had really good fights. Another one that was on there was Ryan Benoit defeated Sergio Pettis, who was the younger Pettis.
Was that with the kick up the arse?
That was the big kick up the arse, almost kicking the fruit basket too. I think he might have got a couple of toes in there.
Interesting way.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think he already knew that he lost. He already knew he got ass kicking, I think. But it was a good, interesting fight because Pettis was dishing him up. It was just in and out, quick punches and moving around, keeping the space at the right distance. But you could see Benoit was just loading up on everything, like from the get-go. Yeah. And you could see as soon as he start trying to pressure with just bombs, Pettis would try and throw a few and then get out. And he just got clipped by, I think it was a left hook in the end. It was a good left hook too.
And then, did the job. Yeah. Once he hit the ground and started swimming, and that'll be enough.
And I mean, that's what makes the UFC exciting, is that someone can get dominated, but one punch changes things.
I didn't see any of the post. Was there anything in the post-fight conferences or anything? I don't know if they did those for the cards about the kick up the arse.
Yeah, there was. Dana said that he didn't have a problem with it because he apologised afterwards.
Did he?
And was profusely apologetic.
Okay.
And
so
of course,
heat of the moment.
Of course, like the comparison with Paul Daly, and Dana said that the difference with Paul Daly is that he was in the ring at the time.
Yeah.
And also afterwards, Paul Daly didn't really care. And apparently Dana talked to Paul Daly afterwards behind the scenes, and he goes, do you even want to be in the UFC? And he goes, I don't care.
Well, fair enough.
All right, well, see you later.
It wasn't really a kick with malice.
It wasn't. No. I mean, it doesn't look good, but I mean, it's not something where you're going to go, keep that out of it.
I got to say, it wouldn't have killed a fly if there was a fly sitting there.
And just looking at the action, it completely matched his explanation of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just in the heat of the moment, and he was getting the shit kicked out of him for, was it 2 rounds or something like that?
So he kicked some shit back in.
Yeah, and so he's won. He's like, holy fuck, yes! Take this with you.
Why not?
Just in case you weren't sure your ass kicked, I'm going to put the stamp on it. And another one on the undercard was, which I was really impressed with, was Beneil Dariush defeated Darren Cruikshank.
Yeah.
And
now, this is a funny one. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Beneil, young lad, born in Iran, moved to America. I think he might be BJJ brown or black belt.
I'm not sure. It looked like he knew what he was doing.
He definitely knew what he was doing. And the thing is, he knew how to mix it up in MMA too with proper jiu-jitsu.
When that fight got down to the business, it did look like Cruikshanks was happy that the choke got in.
Yeah. And honestly, when I looked at it, it almost looked like Cruikshank finished it off for him. Like just pulled his chin out of there a bit so he could...
It did look like that.
So he could get out of it.
I've seen enough.
Yeah. And to be honest, man, it's probably not the worst thing to do when you're getting the shit kicked out like that, because, I mean, I've maybe only seen the towel thrown in twice in a UFC fight, and they were like way at the start.
Way at
the start, when that was like a legitimate way to finish the fight because there was no time on it or anything.
Yeah.
But and even his stand-up, he just put good distance with his front left kicks. Well, and he seems like he's got long legs too, big feet. Yeah,
Cruikshanks is, he's an Ultimate Fighter winner, but very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
In his, is he Taekwondo or his stand-up kicks.
And he's kind of in no man's land in the division and career-wise, I think. I don't think he's going to be contending anything.
Too one-dimensional.
Yeah. But I was really impressed with Dariush's jiu-jitsu in the cage. It was really impressive. I think I can't remember whose camp he's out of. It was someone... Nah, I can't remember.
Anyway,
he got the rear naked choke in round 2. And the other one, which was interesting, was Ross Pearson knocked out Sam Stout.
And performance of the night.
Yeah, got 50k for his troubles.
Yeah. Beautiful hook.
Wasn't it? That was that fight from beginning to end was just beat him up, knock him down.
The last punch when he's half knocked out and he's sat up, it was like a T-ball.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm surprised Sam Stout sat up. I thought he was not.
He had no clue what he was doing.
Like, those are the ones that go down the record as a KTFO.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Absolutely. But he had no clue where he was. You can see his feet are down.
Yep.
No defence. I thought, don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
He could have done a lot more damage than he did.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't quite Dan Henderson and Bisping, but it wasn't far
that
off.
bad, but yeah.
And I mean, we claim Ross Pearson as an adopted Aussie. His missus Australian.
His missus is Australian.
He lives here most of the time, I think, because apparently he fucking hates the cold weather. So,
good on him.
Makes you Aussie, doesn't it?
I know if you follow his Instagram, he's always photos at the beach or the pool or something.
Yeah, with his missus.
I think she's a ring girl too.
Not too bad on the eye. I think she's a model. Yeah, she's definitely a model or something.
I think she's done a bit of ring work.
She's an Aussie chick. She's probably done a bit of ring work. Yeah. And the main card.
So just on Ross, actually, he's. I read with him today. He's talking it up too. He's. I'm the best striker in this division, and body's feeling good, and feeling. He wants to keep going. So maybe a bit of a late career surge for him. And good on him.
Yeah, good on him. Yeah, I always like Ross Pearson.
Yeah.
Ever since I remember they were doing the smashes, Aussies versus the English.
When he was the coach.
And he before they actually announced coaches, he goes, "I'll coach Australia."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, no, my missus lives there. I don't mind it. Yeah, I'll do that."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fucking great work."
Hey, anybody who just jumps and puts their hand up, you gotta love it.
Yeah, and especially could you imagine if it's the other way around? If Australia went, "No, I'll coach English,"
they wouldn't come back.
Nah. Yeah, the main card, which was it's a good card. We had some really good fights in there.
Stacked.
It started off with Henry Cejudo, who I hadn't heard of before. Heard of him, just through the
not seen him.
Yeah, so the intros. He defeated Chris Carriasso. Cejudo dominated the whole fight, really.
Yeah.
It wasn't really close. Stand up and on the ground, he just looked awesome. And ended up getting the decision, but it wasn't a tough decision.
So there you go, first decision of the night.
Yeah, first decision was that one. And you can definitely see that I know he's definitely getting another fight soon because he put his hand up and told Dana he wants to be on the Mexico card, which would be the Kane versus Verdum card. And Dana said, "You're in. Done."
Good.
Apparently he's fluent in Spanish as well, so...
good to be good for the media and whatnot down there.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing him again, relatively soon. And it'll be interesting to see who they put him up against in Mexico, because that's a stacked card, so there'll be no easy fights on that card.
Yeah. There's been a couple of stacked... Anyway, we'll talk about the stacked cards later on.
Yeah. Next up, we had Overeem versus Roy Nelson.
What a funny old fight.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm watching it, you go, yeah, okay, Overeem's probably won, but Roy Nelson... I saw him on the social media today. He had a point, which is, one of them was moving forward all the time.
Yep.
And it wasn't Overeem.
Yep.
But, he really only worried him sort of once.
Yeah, and that was kind of towards the end there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Overeem, he just did what you need to do against Roy Nelson, you know what I mean? I don't think it was really anything to do with Overeem. I think it was more Jackson and... Faraz Sahabi, who put that game plan in and said, "You fucking do this. Don't do anything else."
Well, Overeem needed a win too.
He did. I think the UFC needed him to have a win.
Yeah, why did he say that?
Well, because they're finally got him across here, and his marketability in regards of big fights is huge because of his history. He's got K1 and European, and they're trying to get into that market.
Long time ago now, though.
It was, but he's still a name. He's still one that people want to fight.
I guess they'd want to keep him just so he doesn't go elsewhere.
Yeah, and also he's just like a fucking Superman looking dude. You know what I mean?
Well, he's not Ubereem anymore. You know, the testing's taken care of that.
Well, they said they had trimmed. He had trimmed down to, I think it was 240 or something like that.
Right. And
that's like, for this fight, it's a big country, it needs to be quick and fast, so we've trimmed him down to 240. I'm like, no. Pretty sure he's got off the juice. And he's probably going to be a light heavyweight, not too soon.
You got to talk it the way you can.
Yeah. But if you've seen the photos of when he was a light heavyweight and then all of a sudden he's a heavyweight, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's like Barry Bonds when he was a first baseman. When he was a shortstop and then he was a first baseman. Yeah. And you're like,
something going on there. Yeah. A couple of trips to Mexico or something. Yeah. And I mean, but he did look good. Like the way he fought and like his kicks to the body looked nasty.
Yeah.
That was vicious.
And I heard Rogan said it must be nice to kick Roy Nelson, nice and cushiony.
Yep.
Bastard.
Yep, I know. You see the welts that they were leaving on there. I was like, ooh.
But having said that, it wasn't a bad fight for Overeem because he has been accused of having a bit of a glass chin recently.
Yes, and with something to back it up too.
Yeah, some good results to back it up. But he wore one from Roy, and Roy's a heavy hands.
Yep.
So he wore it and kept going.
Yep, and anyway, that's what you need to do. But that's the thing with the heavyweights is that more than any other category, one punch is like
it can end it.
End it and your life probably
from just about anybody too.
Yeah,
anybody
exactly.
in the division.
Yep. Next up, we had Johnny Hendricks versus Matt Brown, which I mean, it was always billed as the main event before Esparza and JJ. But the thing is, I remember reading the first release of the poster for UFC 185. Actually, didn't have Esparza and JJ on it. It had Matt Brown versus Johnny Hendricks, and of course Rafael dos Anjos versus Pettis. So the other belt wasn't even on the poster.
No.
And Esparza went, "Hang on a second, what the fuck's this shit?"
But look, on paper, Hendricks versus Matt Brown. I'm a big fan of Matt Brown.
Yeah.
But it does look like a mismatch.
Yeah, it does. And you've seen it before in Matt Brown's fights. If he gets someone who's just got such good upper body strength and control in wrestling, it's really hard for him to work his aggressive guard.
Yeah.
And that's what did him in, was that Hendricks just sort of dominated him and neutralised his guard and didn't need to do anything else.
They're really just looking for something to keep Hendricks and Lawler occupied until they can fight again.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think they'll fight again. To be honest, I don't see Lawler beating Rory. I think Rory would take that fight.
I hope so. Well, everyone loves Rory.
Yeah, and I think we'll see the Hendricks versus
Rory.
No, Hendricks versus fucking Lawler
as a number one contender.
Number one contender spot. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to see Hendricks Lawler 3 without a belt on the line?
I don't really.
If you're going to do the three-peat, it's got to. I think it's got to have the belt.
So do I. Unless it's like in 3 years when no one wants to watch anymore.
Yeah, who knows?
So they do it. But I mean, there's lots of killers coming up in that category, so it's pretty tough. Like Tyron Woodley, he's probably put his hand up for after
Rory.
After Rory, yeah. And I mean, with quite rightly so. And I prefer to watch him fight than Johnny Hendricks. I like Johnny Hendricks, got nothing against him.
Yeah,
but people are sort of just figuring him out. He's just got to adapt and change. I think he's got to be a bit more dimensional than just dropping bombs and doing wrestling.
Yeah.
I think it's come to that point now in his career where people have figured that out. He's got to mix it up a bit.
Well, even the fight against GSP, which I still maintain that he probably won, but
I thought that too.
But he didn't. He didn't take it out of the judge's hands.
Yeah.
So it's still arguable. And obviously, the decision didn't go his way. So
yeah, and I mean,
if he wants to be great, that's the next step.
Exactly, and. It just seems in that division that's not going to get you up to the top. It's not going to get to the number one. It's not going to get the belt anymore.
No.
Because people have figured it out, and he's not the biggest dude there anymore, which he used to be before. And all right, the strawweight title was on the line for the first time. Well, not the first time, but the first defence.
The first defence for the inaugural champion.
Yeah, so it was Carla Esparza versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
That's what we're going with.
Going with Jędrzejczyk.
And what were you saying happened before the fight when they asked her how to pronounce her name?
Oh yeah, she said it's champion. So just call her Joanna Champion.
And done.
And that'll be it. So done. So it's either JJ or Joanna Champion. Because don't know anyone that can pronounce the last name. I can't even spell it.
No chance. I saw the fight, and the first thing that popped into mind was Chuck Liddell versus Tito. That's what it looked like.
The first thing that popped into my mind was, you got to throw in the towel. This is the first fight of what we're watching going, nah, someone needs to end this.
Yep.
Throw in the towel.
The elbow that started the flurry that finished it was just so quick.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And then it was Chuck versus Tito.
Yep.
Just whack, 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 whack.
And that's it.
I've got to say, it could have been stopped earlier, but the ref, it was a good stoppage.
Yeah, it was.
She hadn't hit the ground.
Yeah.
It was enough.
Yeah, and she hadn't hit her back, so she had to do something. You could just see, Carla came out and threw some fakes, and it's like, you're not going to punch her.
No.
There's fakes. You're either going to move laterally and try and, get around it, but try and take her straight up and just go for double legs.
Yeah.
As soon as you lose that first one or two, she's fucked. And the thing is, she only tried the same type of takedown. She was straight ahead, pushing in for doubles, and then changing to a single and trying to hook her leg around, and just got defended every time.
Yeah. I know, again, one of the big criticisms of the women's division is how light on it is and shallow for talent. I think it showed a little bit.
Yeah, so do I. And like they've been talking about, I know Joe Rogan's talked about a lot, is I think the better way is to go up to the 140 or 145 women's division. Yeah. Smaller ones. I mean, there are some coming through from Invicta, but they're still not at that level.
I think it doesn't matter really what division. They've just got to wait some time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I think this was one of those moments where it's a step up in this is what it takes. You know, this is a person who's been fighting, JJ's been fighting Muay Thai for fucking ages, and she's been a champion across many divisions, and it's that difference in experience in these sorts of fights.
It is almost that it's still style versus style in the women's division a little bit. So you'll start to get the next generation come through, and then we'll have the more competitive women's divisions.
And that's it. And I think what makes it hard is that because it's that sort of situation, it's really hard to get sparring partners who are at that same level the fighter you're going to fight, which makes a big difference because there's no way, like you can say, obviously Carla knew she was going to be a striker and she should have brushed up on her defense and figured out her fighting, but against who? Like who's going to get in the gym to emulate that? You just can't do it yet because the talent's not that deep. But I mean, it's interesting to see that they're going to Poland soon and they've now got a Polish champ, so...
Well,
I mean, Dana said thank you.
Thank you very much, yeah.
I know Carla's been complaining a lot leading up to this fight about not getting enough exposure and not getting the Reebok deal, and Dana's going, well, let's fix that. On we go.
I mean...
Paige, you're up next.
Yeah.
Where you go.
On you go.
And, but yeah, I thought JJ put on an awesome display of just sprawling and beating her up, making her pay for the takedowns, and you could see... After the first few takedowns that got stuffed, and then she's still trying to do the same one, you're like, this is over.
I'd say it almost... there's no need for a rematch.
No,
you know what I mean? After somebody loses their title. I know it was her first title defence, but you're like, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'd like to see if Holly Holm could get down to the atom weight. I don't think she could, but she's pretty tall.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how many people want to drop down because Ronda's dominating.
Yeah.
If they decide, maybe I can go win a belt there, but...
Well, that's the other interesting thing is that I know that for all Dana's talk, he wants to see Cyborg versus Rousey, and he knows that Rousey isn't going to let it do it at any other weight division except for the 135.
Cyborg's come out and said two things. One, that if size doesn't matter, why is Ronda Rousey worried about weight?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Good call. But also, I think she said, I can do it. I can get down there again.
But the thing is, even if she can't, Dana can force a hand by bringing in that 140 weight division.
Yeah.
Because Ronda wants to be the best.
Yep.
And I mean, if you've got a choice between the light heavyweight championship or the heavyweight championship, the most prestigious is always the heavyweight.
Well, it's always, you're talking about it with John Jones, eventually, do you want to go up? Because there's nobody else left to beat. And if Ronda's, 10 and 0 with a belt, you know what? 10 pounds up, there's another belt for you.
And especially if Cyborg has that belt.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I mean... Yeah, it's the only fight that's left.
Yeah,
and it's the only fight you can sell.
Yeah, and so if she can't make it down and Ronda's refusing to fight at 135, I think that'll be a little strategy that Fertitas might bring in, or Dana, and
sell tickets,
force a hand. Yeah, and I mean, it's a business. You know what I mean? I'm sure they like Ronda, but hey,
short of somebody doing a Matt Serra to Ronda's GSP, there's no other fights that are interesting anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no one that can. Pay to see a fight besides maybe Cyborg.
Well, they're going to have to go outside of mixed martial arts and try and find somebody.
Yeah.
And again, you
don't fucking touch judo, whatever you do.
But maybe they can get the girls that won the silver and bronze when when Ronda won the silver and gold when Ronda won the bronze. But
True.
Again, she's going to dish them up. So what's the point?
That's it. But
you've got to find something though.
Yeah. I think
she's far too marketable.
Exactly, yeah, and they're in danger of losing her to Hollywood and whatever the hell she's got planned.
I think she's still happy to fight, once or twice a year, then fuck off and do a movie and come back.
Yeah, and I think someone like Ronda's got a lot of pent-up aggression.
She feels like
she needs to beat the fuck out of people every now and then just for sanity. Oh yeah, that brings us to the main event of the night, which of course was for the lightweight belt, which is defending...
Yep, Showtime
Pettis versus Rafael Dos Anjos.
And I got to say, I picked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought it'd go the distance.
Yep.
I thought Dos Anjos, he's had a brilliant 6 months.
Yes, he's been on fire, and he just proved that. Like, this was not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. And, I mean, Pettis did get the not poked in the eye, got punched in the eye
Yep.
in the first round, which affected his vision. But the thing is, with Pettis, you need space to operate. You need space to kick and space to really set up his moves. And Dos Anjos just didn't give him any space at all. Just always against the fence. But to be fair, Pettis didn't really try and work for his own space. And for the few times that he did, he was actually successful.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm guessing like maybe the eye troubles might have been a factor of him just trying to get space by pushing back instead of trying to push sideways and work his way around.
Just get a proper look.
Yeah. But I mean, it was amazing by Rafael Dos Anjos. It was an awesome display.
Yeah, a complete display.
Yeah.
It was like TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah.
It was the right game plan executed perfectly.
Yep. And really puts a bit of a dent in Showtime's plans to be the pound-for-pound greatest. But
well, that happens when you lose a fight.
Yep, every fighter has these troubles, don't they?
You reckon he'll suit up for a rematch?
Yeah.
Down
I
the straight.
So. Yeah.
I reckon it will be a good rematch too, because Pettis has got a lot to go home with.
Yep. And I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders, Pettis, and you can see him going home and analysing this and brushing up on his weaknesses and really just coming back a much complete fighter.
And with a new plan.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like GSP. You know, he started out with sort of karate, worked on his wrestling, then worked on his boxing, and really rounded out his entire skill set.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting for him. But again, a fascinating division. Again, it's good that we've got so many divisions where the race for the belt is really on. Because when you got your heavyweight and your light heavyweight, it's sort of decided.
Yeah.
It's good to see some belts changing hands.
Yeah, and we're trying to think of what belts hadn't changed hands. There's obviously Rousey's got hers.
Yeah.
Josie Aldo.
He's had his for ages.
He's had his since that weight division started up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry,
I'm not sure if Mighty Mouse has had his since that division opened up. Can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he has, because they had the little mini tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
And did he had the draw with Ian McCall?
Yeah, that's right.
No, he lost the decision, but it was meant to be a draw, so they had a rematch, and he won the rematch.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Sorry, Mighty Mouse won the decision, but then it got changed to a draw.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think 3 belts that have never changed hands.
Yeah, so they're the ones that they really. I mean, you've tried to tee up Ronda for some good fights, and she's just dominated everyone.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're hyping up Conor against Josie, and I mean, you can buy into the hype, but you've still got to respect what's actually gone down.
Yeah, Josie Aldo is still going to be favourite, and rightly so.
Yeah, that's it. And the other one being Mighty Mouse, and I mean, this seems like they're just waiting for what's the little ninja called? John Dodson. Waiting for him to see if he can step up and
waiting for him to mature.
Yeah,
as a fighter.
Yeah.
Which would be great, because he's
because that's a fight that I'd love to see.
Yeah,
Mighty Mouse versus John Dodson.
They've already fought once, I think.
I can't remember.
I think so, but I could be wrong.
Because there's like little ninjas in that thing. It's fucking awesome.
And he's always smiling.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but you got to love a little fella that's always smiling.
No, even smiling Sam Alvey. He's fucking knocking dudes out, smiling, big ragged looking dude. Always got to cheer for those guys.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the wrap of the UFC.
We've got UFC Adelaide coming up in a month or so.
We do. It's Hunt versus
Steve
Miocic.
Yep. It's going to be interesting.
I think that'll be a kind of a setup to try and get Hunt in a title shot for.
Well, if he wins
for Melbourne,
they're going straight to Melbourne.
Yep.
Which in November, which they've already announced is. I think they announced the day after our last podcast.
I think they did too. Yeah.
Confirmed it's happening at Etihad. So if anybody wants tickets, let me know. Because I want them to.
Yep.
But interesting, over the weekend, the first official Victorian cage fight.
There was too.
Happened.
It was Hex, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, there were no fights out in the street. Funny that.
Yeah, it's funny how martial arts teaches respect and discipline. And
yeah. and apparently, everything went normal. And AFC's fighting this weekend, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Was
there another one down in Tasmania? On the weekend.
Yeah, Tassie's.
I saw some on Renegade website that the boys are down there.
Callum Potter.
Lost
his belt, I think.
His belt. Hopefully it's just sort of a momentum builder and go back and work on a few things and come back stronger.
Best thing about losing a belt is you get a chance to get it back.
Yep, that's true. So I wish all the best for Callum.
Yeah. So it'd be really good to see that the first event went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
It is funny to think there was less issues at the UFC. At the Hex cage fight than there was at the darts.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, we're
not surprised.
Yeah, it's just about perception. And even when trying to explain to people, look, it's not like that. I just try and not be facetious and say, all you got to do is go into a gym. Go step into like a BJJ gym or a mixed martial arts gym.
And you find out just how nice everyone is.
I'm not saying you're going to go up there and get beat up and then go, oh, shit, yeah, they're for real. No, you're going to go in there and realise how nice everyone is and how disciplined it is.
Overly nice.
Because if you try and step out of line, you can get the fucking shit kicked out of you. Like, these guys are trained killers, man. And they're the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
It is weird. I read one of the papers was just trying to do a negative article on it, and they showed somebody with a blood nose, and they went, blood in the cage. And we're like, well, you see a blood nose it's a blood nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that's the worst you could get.
Yeah, exactly. If that's all you've got, then, don't become a doctor. Don't do anything to do with blood.
Oh, silly.
Yeah, but
nobody's surprised.
No, it's just old cunts running this shit.
Yeah.
Need a bit of a wake-up call.
And
I mean, the thing is, they talk about, you don't want these people to be role models, and it's like, in the UFC, man, there's a lot of people who are college graduates, been through the whole system, dedicated their lives to one thing and become the best in the world at it.
What
no problem like kids turn out like that.
Yeah, train 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week.
Not just in one sport. Because that's the thing, mixed martial arts, it's not so much one sport. It's the accumulation of lots of different martial arts and the application.
We're in Australia and we love the stories behind people that have done it. Just if any of these detractors went and spoke to Mark Hunt, I mean, he's the biggest name at the biggest card that's going to happen in Australia until the next biggest one in November.
God-fearing man too.
Yeah, and just listen to him and how he was offered to buy out his contract and he said, no, fuck it, I want to keep fighting.
Going to fight.
And now he's headlining everywhere and taking fights on 2 weeks' notice in Mexico and shit. It's an awesome story.
Yeah, and it's an inspirational story, you know what I mean?
And you want to see where are your role models.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll do.
Yep, yeah, that'll do. How many people are there that have been through Mark Hunt's situation and not turned it out to be a Mark Hunt?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's still, putting it out there at 39 or whatever he is.
Yeah, and looking the best he's ever been.
Yeah, and still knocking cunts out.
Yep.
But anyway, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Now, just before we came in, we'll talk a little bit of footy.
Yep.
All right. Because I know that you don't know this yet.
All right.
A couple of days ago, and Ryan Crowley was announced that he's on indefinite leave.
Really?
For personal reasons.
Right.
Fremantle said, but he's still training with the squad.
Yep.
The reasons came to light today.
And they?
He was issued with a show cause notice back in September last year.
Really?
For violating the anti-doping code. Now, more details came out. He actually tested positive for a banned substance in round 14, I think.
Right.
Back in July. And the show cause notice came in September, and he took a voluntary suspension from then, which is very interesting because that must have been just after they lost to Port Adelaide in the finals.
Yeah.
So nice time to take your voluntary suspension. And now it's I think, first thing, Freo have done awesome to keep it quiet for
bloody oath.
What was it, 7 months?
Yeah.
Or 6 months.
Yep.
But they couldn't keep it quiet forever because NAB Cup's coming to an end and round one's coming up, and if he starts playing again before the sanctions come out, but it looks like the banned substance was most likely in a painkiller that he took without the advice of the club doctor. So he went to another doctor who gave him a painkiller.
Yep.
So there's two ways of looking at this. One is, geez, you're unlucky.
Yep.
It's not Ahmed Saad unlucky, but it's still you've taken just something that's probably over the counter,
exactly,
and it's got a banned substance in it.
Yeah,
but on the other side, should know better.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have a club doctor for a reason.
Yep. And but in light of Essendon, you can't really trust your club doctors these days. Could be the worst.
No. You can trust your club doctor. That was the problem with Essendon is they didn't trust their club doctor. Yeah. Doc Reed said something's a bit funny here.
Yep, true.
So, and I know for a fact that club doctors, they don't do 9 to 5.
Yeah,
they'll take a phone call at midnight, any day of the week. They'll go on end of season trips with the players.
Yeah, because especially these days with the banned substances, a lot of substances aren't banned because they're bad for you or they're performance enhancing. Yeah, because they're precursor or masking agents and things like that.
Yeah.
Like even when I saw with Anderson Silva getting popped, and I saw one of them was temazepam, and I'm like, fucking nice, he's had to go to sleep. Yeah. Like and it's like not a strong sleeping pill, it's a very mild sleeping pill.
Well,
I was like, what?
Yeah, if you go back even to cricket, Warney got done for diuretics.
Yeah.
And that was a 12-month or an 18-month layoff.
Yeah. No, that's just because it was a masking agent. But I mean, I don't know what warning could have been taken for performance-enhancing spin bowling.
Menthol cigarettes.
Yeah, that's it. He loves a pie, a pint, and fucking a ciggy, so...
Look, with Ahmed Saad did he get 18 months for basically an energy drink?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's not looking good for Crowley.
No.
Because that'll mean, backdate it to September last year means he sits out this whole year.
Yep.
He lines up next year. And he's 31, 32.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he doesn't rely on his athleticism, but he chases one of the best runners around all day. That's a tough time.
And the thing is, just at that age, just sitting a year out, that takes a huge toll on your game.
Or he could come back rested.
Yeah, true.
You might be all the little niggles, because they all have them at that age.
Yeah.
But it's still, geez, you got to keep...
Not something you want to do.
It's a lot of running you've got to do for 12 months.
I'm guessing that's probably a year without pay, isn't it?
Oh, depends on his contract. I mean, I guess he's got to be paid something.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
get a retainer or something.
I have no clue.
I'd have thought there would be some sort of financial penalty. I thought you can't just get suspended and still get paid. Seems a bit stupid.
But I mean, man's still got to earn a quid, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is true. But
I don't know on that side of it. I mean, Ahmed Saad didn't because he got delisted, but that's different.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And I made the crucial mistake of reading the Facebook comments on the AFL page. One of the first comments was, typical, they're focusing on a non-Victorian player, the Vic bias, they're putting this up. They wouldn't talk about it if it was a Victorian player. And I immediately thought, no, I've heard of something before.
Yeah. What was that during the whole summer?
What was it the last 2 years? The first comment said the same thing. The Essendon saga the last 2 years, it didn't ring a bell. But, there you go.
Yeah.
Really, again, who's to blame? Me for looking at Facebook comments.
Yep, exactly right. But, and I think, he's probably... Cuz got popped again or something like that. So,
well, the last I read, he was being admitted to a mental hospital, which is probably 10 years too late.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I don't mean that as a joke. I mean, it's obviously there are issues there.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
What I was saying, he was found in the security zone of the army base or something
like that,
on a mission. Fucking hell,
full Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus Christ, it's
just got a little lad too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think so.
Look, all you can hope is maybe he pulls through and he'll have a good story to tell.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hopefully,
be a lesson.
Gets his son in line and
gets himself in line.
Gets father-son into Richmond.
I don't think he qualifies. I don't think he played enough games even.
Yeah, maybe West Coast won't take the chance. Nah. We've done this on before.
We've been burnt.
Just got rid of all those cunts.
Well, they've tried hard to clean them out.
Yeah.
But, it's a shame.
It is a shame because I liked Cuz.
I was at his last game. It was when he pulled his hamstring and he's still playing on because I just got to finish the game.
Just fuck it, yeah.
And against Port it was. So.
That's right. Fucking Port. Which we gave a touch-up the other day in Ab Challenge. Ooh, look out.
Jeez. Yeah, wow.
Don't think I recognise their team, but...
I saw Essendon and Friends versus GWS.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
No, it's so hard to watch.
It is, yeah.
Thank God it's nearly finished.
Yep. Can't wait for round one.
Yep, got our tickets.
Yep, that's it.
We got the big traditional Richmond Carlton opening night, Thursday night. I've got my visa booked already.
We'll be live tweeting right on the fucking fence, I think we are.
Yeah.
Might see our mugs on camera. Look out.
I was worried because I was thinking about it. I'm like, we're going to be out in the sun and everything. And I thought, no, night game.
Night game, yeah.
Night game, yeah.
The problem is we probably won't see the other side of the field just because of the grading of the oval. But it doesn't matter. We've got a big screen anyway. So the other side of the field, you don't watch it.
I've never seen a game from the fence before, so it's
no, me neither. I've never had a chance to really get stuck into some players and some umpires. So looking forward to it. If you hear someone on the TV being a loose cannon, it's probably me.
Yeah. We should get some clicking balls t-shirts made up.
Yeah, actually, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, sounds like effort though.
Yeah, I know. Just black tape on a white shirt.
Yeah, we can get that done.
Yeah.
And then Hawthorn Geelong on the Easter Monday.
That's right. It'll be a cracker of a game.
Amazing. I reckon Geelong, they look dangerous. Do you see Mitch Clark kick 6 in their warm-up and took a screamer?
Damn.
I tell you what, David Schwartz on the radio the next day is breaking his heart. Mitch Clark's, it's the best game he's played since leaving Brisbane.
Yep.
And I mean, I know it's only NAB challenge, but geez, Melbourne, they just get kicked every time.
Don't they? Yep.
They can't take a trick.
The thing is, there's just so many problems. Everything just goes wrong for him. You know what I mean?
It's Melbourne.
That's it. But one day maybe they'll come good. Who knows?
Yeah, they say it's cylindrical. So we'll see if they ever hit their upswing.
I don't think it's going to happen. Not for a while anyway.
Poor old bastards. All right. Got anything else going on?
No.
Sport-wise?
There's a bit of F1 on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I covered a little bit of that.
I did not see a second of it. But
to be honest, I love F1, but it was boring as shit race. And Melbourne always is. Like, Albert Park's a lovely area. It's a great view of beach and the city, but the actual track sucks. It's just not conducive to exciting racing. It's just a boring track.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't see a second of it, but from what I was hearing on the radio with the updates, they just said Mercedes can't be beat, so we're racing for third.
Yep, that's exactly right. Mercedes were, I think, 30 seconds clear of Vettel in third by the end of the race, and they were only racing each other. But, I mean, there was some exciting things happened, and the thing is, with the start of the season, it seems like teams gone backwards with engine development because we had, I think, 15 people start the grid, and by the first lap, there was 13 cars left.
Yeah.
That's out of 20.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a non-event, really. It wasn't much that happened. And
I think a couple of the teams went into administration over the summer. And
they did.
Themselves out.
Yeah, that's it. Marussia or Manor now were there, but they just couldn't get their systems working to put a car on the track. And I mean, if you're kind of that close as a driver, you probably wouldn't want to be racing that machine around a track at
give it a miss, I think.
300 plus Ks.
Yeah.
So Hamilton won. Rosberg comes second. Vettel third. Rosberg. Ricardo came 7th, I believe. 7th or 6th. Yeah, 7th, I think. Yeah.
Slightly disappointing for him then.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, the Renault engine's nowhere at the moment, so you can't really do much at the moment. That's just what they're stuck at. And his teammate Kvyat didn't even make on the grid. Started the car up and went out there, and that's the end of that.
Well, he's just the number one driver then.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. But next one's in Malaysia in 2 weeks, so hopefully there's some improvements there, and hopefully you get a full grid.
Yeah,
but it's disappointing with shit race, not many cars on the grid, and general lack of excitement.
What are the crowds like? Anything?
I think the crowds were pretty good, pretty decent. Yeah, I think with Ricardo being prominent these days, that they sort of got a bit of
bit of the locals
fan excitement. Yeah, but I was never under the impression he was going to do well. I didn't. No. And to be honest, I like watching the race, so I like going for the experience, but you don't see shit.
You can't see
unless you've got like a real high grandstand and Charlie Whiting's back pocket or something. You don't see shit. So I watched it at home and. Yeah, I'm glad.
It's good coverage.
Yeah, it is good coverage. Mark Webber and Alan Jones were awesome in the commentary. Channel 10, they should just restructure everyone the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Keep Mark Webber and keep Alan Jones. Apparently Jerry Clarkson's looking for a job, so you can stick him in there too. And then there's your team. Fucking go for it. They're the only ones that have anything relevant to say.
Yeah.
The rest of them just talk fucking bullshit. And the worst part is just Channel 10 doing their fucking shithouse job of cross-promotion.
Oh, fucking hell.
And they've got people in there talking about F1 who've got no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Okay, how good has the Cricket World Cup been? Because they can't do cross-promotion.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly right.
The sound from the first game, they sorted out, and now it's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the cricket coverage, even the commentating.
Wouldn't you hope that that'd filter through?
You would think so. And it was like 10 treated it like the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
Like it was a little fashion get-together, and like, I don't know if you've seen car racing fans. They're not the people who would like to go on the Melbourne Cup. You know what I mean? But whatever, I usually legal stream it on fucking anyway off Sky.
Get the overseas commentators.
Wow, yeah. And I would feel bad, but I really don't feel any remorse about ripping money off from Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck him.
Fair enough. I think the only other big event on the weekend was the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
What's going on? I've just been catching the snippets that have been shared on Facebook. The world record deadlift, which is not a bad effort.
Yeah.
Big lad. So it was good. Hopefully we'll see the mountain try and get that record back.
Yeah. Wow.
Be interesting.
Yeah. We'll follow up on that one.
Another win by the English over the weekend. So yeah.
Did they win?
Oh, that was I think Eddie Hales. I think his name. I can't remember.
I was going to say, the funniest thing was that England had another real massive loss in Formula One. McLaren, they qualified last. Oh. And Jenson Button, the only person that finished the race that didn't get a point.
Wow.
Only 11 finishes. Jenson Button, 11th. No points for him. Fucking shit summer for the English in Australia, I'll tell you that much.
What do you mean, though? I mean, Freddie Flintoff, we've already spoken about.
Oh, yep, true.
So that's it. That's their win for the summer.
I think he's almost Aussie now, isn't he? He's, fuck it, we'll claim him.
Well, it was funny. I think we spoke about it before. He went back into cricket because the phone wasn't ringing.
Oh, yeah.
And now, I'll tell you what, I think he'll be back out here every summer.
Absolutely.
Because, we'll claim him as well. Him, Ross Pearson, Michael Bisping, they can all stay out here.
They're all welcome anytime. Give them a passport, sort them out.
Yep.
Way you go.
We're giving you 2 Minogues.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Something else back.
And the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if, England, they go out. Did Ireland progress to the World Cup? They progressed? No, damn it. I thought it would have been great if the Irish went through and English didn't with an Irish captain.
Yeah. No, only, was it 4 teams that didn't make it? Was UAE, Ireland, Scotland and England.
Oh, yeah.
So, the poor old Great Britain didn't fare too well.
So well. Well, better luck next 4 years.
4 years. They'll probably host it.
Yeah.
All right, we good?
Yep, that's it.
I haven't got anything more.
No.
All right, that'll do us then.
All right.
Bye.
That's it. Bye.